Hey everybody, welcome back to our Valorant. My name is Matt, and in today's video we got a ton of new news in regards to Raze in this game, because for those that don't know, Raze is a very controversial figure in Valorant, to say the least, and we've gotten a lot of news in the past few days in regards to this character, her abilities, and what will be happening in the future. So I wanted to get right into it and give you guys just the news. So what do we know about Raze? Well, first off, it's very overpowered. It is a very overpowered character, at least in my opinion. Some people are going to disagree, but in my opinion, I do believe it is a very overpowered character, and I could prove this. Because essentially what this does is have a bunch of lethal abilities right off the bat. So I'm going to give you guys a little synopsis on what Raze can do. It has a blast pack, which is essentially a C4. You could buy 2 of them. It has paint shells, which are essentially a cluster grenade. You throw it, it explodes instantly, and creates little sub-munitions, each doing damage to anyone in their range. It has a boombot, which is essentially this tiny little, it looks like the thing from Rainbow Six Siege. It's the tiny little robot that goes and instantly kills you, and its ultimate is that big freaking rocket. So if you guys have been playing Valorant, you'll notice that if you ever see someone pull out that rocket, it is always a Raze. Now, what is the problem with this? Well, in my opinion, the biggest issue with this is the fact that these are all lethal abilities. You take something like Jett, who only has a lethal ultimate, and even then, it's not that great. Really, Jett is more mobility. When you look at characters like that are facing up against Raze, they seem to be at a blatant disadvantage. But there were a few replies from a lot of very prominent sort of social media figures. So the first thing I wanted to mention was Summit1G, who said, "Trying my best not to salt everywhere on Valorant. Not sure how a rocket character even made it into the beta or as a character design at all. Every single ability is kill someone ability. So much for utility type use." And then one of the developers over at Riot responded and said, "Hey Summit, I totally understand. Some things, in there were very tilting and it was a rough game. They were watching his stream. They said they were looking across the board at all the agents just to see how to get them in the right place, essentially assuming that we will see some sort of nerf in the future." But there was a much more detailed reply over on Reddit, and I'm going to give you guys a little synopsis, just basically saying that Raze is in this game to intimidate people, was basically what he was getting at, and that really it's not made to get an ultra, amount of kills. It's really there to sort of force people in disadvantageous positions. That's essentially what he was saying, that there's, still some tuning that may be made, maybe like those little, the baby nades, he called them, from that sort of pool it creates of damage. And again, as I mentioned earlier, that feels very overpowered. So it's very likely in the future that this will be tuned. People have been complaining about this relentlessly, but it is nice to know, of course, they are listening to us. They are hearing what we were saying. They're taking our feedback into account. And that's really the most important thing, man. When you have a development team that really genuinely does care about the community, you could tell, man, these people are on Twitter all day, every day, replying to people, trying to be flexible and adjust this meta to make it much more playable, much more functional than it has been in the past. Everybody wants to improve, and that's what they're aiming for, which I think is absolutely wonderful. So, I really do want to know what you guys have to think down below in the comments, of course. Do you guys believe that Raze is overpowered or not? Personally, again, as I've said, I think it is very overpowered, just because I enjoy maining Jett, I enjoy maining Viper, and just to have something that is just explosives every second without even having to really earn those explosives feels a little bit out of place. But that's just me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, definitely gotta drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.